Okay, we're live. How you doing, everyone? I'm excited to be here today with Tom, my good friend from Convesio. And we're gonna show you all a little bit about an integration that we've built between Atarim and Convesio. But before we get to that, how are you, Tom?
I'm doing well. I just realized I feel very small compared to you in my video window. I think I need to get closer
Go
there
back.
with like a tiny
No,
little
well,
head in the background.
we ruined it. We now flipped it,
There
right?
you go. Right.
Okay, like let's balance it out. I think that's fine, right?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. How was the week for you?
Oh, super, super busy. And I'm sure, like a lot of folks out there, I mean, it just feels like I'm hearing from a bunch of our clients that it was kind of a little bit slow after January, but now it's like been picking up. I don't know if you're hearing that from your
Yes.
agency customers, but I'm definitely hearing it from ours.
Yeah, that people were kind of on the fence a little bit at the beginning of the
Right,
year. Maybe recession, maybe
right.
whatever, but now it's like, okay, we actually need to get some work done, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So with this, today is a Friday, and we wanted to do a quick one just to walk you through this cool integration. So, Tom, why did you agree to do that in the first place?
Well, I mean, I think I've mentioned this before when we've talked. I've always been a huge fan of this. I'm very, very aware of the pain point that many people who build and create websites have, where it's just the friction of dealing with clients' requests, changes, collecting information from the client. I mean, the whole process of implementing a website that your customer is going to just love is multifaceted and complicated. And so
It's a pain in
I've
the
always
ass,
felt like
to
this,
put it simply.
yeah, this set of tools that you guys have built is, it's just really, really good. So I'm a believer in it.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. I saw that same opportunity from the audience and the platform that you have created, which is not just like as we talked about this before. It's not so much of a standard hosting company. The way that you guys are operating at that level of scale is exactly where we see the most benefit that we can bring to our users. Really, while there's thousands of freelancers and micro agencies that are leveraging the system, when you are actually working at scale, that's when all of these problems become a lot more apparent.
Right.
And because if you have like a few people that are bothering you, like two, three clients, and one of them sends you a message on WhatsApp in the middle of the night, it's not nice, but it's not gonna stay with you. But if you have a couple of dozens of them doing it, then it's a nightmare, right?
Well, and I think scale, and so we've been talking internally about this whole notion of agencies scaling, and this is an interesting sort of, you know, um, just cognitive exercise, right? Scaling means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Sometimes you're
Absolutely.
scaling revenue, sometimes you're scaling customers, sometimes you're scaling visitors to your website, which is what we
Yeah.
do. And in the world, in the context of us, we have agencies that we work with, but we also have large sort of mid-market to enterprise sites. And those teams need Atarim as well. Even though they only might be dealing with one site, they have multiple stakeholders
Yes.
involved. And so the scale, the complexity of communications, it scales vertically when you have an agency with a lot of
Yes.
clients. It scales horizontally when you have a one
Exactly.
website with a large team behind it. So the use case for this is for many, many folks, not just agencies.
I love that because we see this is one of the most emerging use cases of the platform, where exactly like you're saying. So you guys are really focused and honed in on large e-com websites, right? Where there's a
Mhm.
lot of traffic, a lot of people working together. There's a lot of things at stake.
That's right.
And so we see these things happening within e-com shops where, like you're saying, they have one or two or maybe tops three websites that they're managing by that company. But then you have the SEO guy speaking to the shop manager, speaking to the
Right.
fulfillment person,
Right.
speaking to the all of those kind of different internal, the PPC person and the content man
Or
and the
you've got, 5 developers on the
right.
project. Maybe you have an outsource agency you work with too. I mean,
Yes.
we see these large e-commerce sites have an entire operations team around the store operations, right? Including marketing, fulfillment, all the roles you just mentioned. Plus, they might have a couple in-house developers, and they may have an agency helping them as well. So it's like there's a lot of stakeholders at the table on some of these larger sites.
I love it. So what did we do? Let me bring the screen up, and we're gonna give you a quick walk through the integration. Take it away, Tom.
Yeah, sure. So this is basically your Convesio dashboard with a list of all of your sites on it. And we very simply added this collaboration chat balloon icon here. And basically, when you click this, and I've got it open in another window, I think we're going to look at Chandler Law here. If you're logged into Atarim, boom, it just opens that site in Atarim. So you can then start collaborating, making comments, all of that type of stuff. So
Yeah,
we give you one-click access from your site over to Atarim, and yeah, it's been great. We've got new people who've never heard of Atarim discovering it, and we've got some people who are like, "Oh my gosh, I love Atarim. This makes it really easy for me to get from my hosting control panel over to the Atarim site."
that's awesome.
So
You even mentioned that like it was pretty much 3.5 minutes after we launched we pushed the integration that you already had someone over on Slack saying
that's
something,
right.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So as you know, we support the majority of our customers on Slack, and I had immediately like 2 or 3 customers hit me. I'm like, what? Why are you guys even in our product that much? I'm like, is it that important to be in your like hosting control panel? Like, I was like, because we're always downplaying, like, most people are in WordPress, most people, it's like you're not gonna live. Your product is very sticky. Like people do work in your product,
Right.
right? It's like people come to our product to change settings, create new sites, things like that. And so I was shocked that so many people were so quick. And the feedback was like, I mean, it ranged from I know Atarim and I've got a license of it and this is awesome to almost like I've never even heard of anything like this, mind blown when they clicked the link, got the free account. So like people were just getting the link, signing up, and they're like, oh my gosh, can I actually like make notes on a live website? Like it was like,
Awesome. That's brilliant. Well, that's as simple as that, really. One click collaboration, and really it connects. And one of the reasons why I like doing this implementation, and we did this with main WP, for example, so that this one click collaboration concept really connects to our core mission, which is reducing time to collaboration. That's actually the main KPI of the product. How quickly can we get someone to start collaborating straight away?
right,
And bringing that experience over to your panel has definitely walked, help us walk on this exact path, which I'm excited about. And I also, before we kind of go into where can people find this out, I just want to point out something regarding Convesio that we spoke about because you and I, Tom, we go way back.
way back.
We've been talking to each other for a couple of years now on different levels, mostly just sharing knowledge and experience and just like learning from each other. I learned a lot from you.
Oh,
Uh, and so with this, there's one way that I always keep in mind that conversion. We talked about this. Maybe you can even let's say even pitch that concept that it's not for everyone or it's not
yeah,
for all your websites, right? It's for that specific use case of websites that needs this level of service. So how
yeah.
do you see that?
So our superpower is really scaling complex, hard to scale sites. And in the WordPress world, the vast majority of sites that are out there, and I give this, it's like a triangle. I keep using this triangle analogy. The vast majority of sites that are out there are your bloggers, your doctors, your lawyers, your landscapers, your plumbers. They don't need scaling. Most of their stuff is static, good caching, and you can get everything you need out of it. But if you're a brand, an e-commerce provider, and you've got a huge success of a product, that's the kind of people that we work with. So it's like, hey, I'm selling to, I've got thousands to tens of thousands of orders a month, surges of thousands of people hitting my website, lots of, thousands of people trying to take an online course. These are the
And
use
with the
cases.
summit, that's what we do with the
Yeah,
summit.
the summit, right? Live events has been a good thing for us. We do a lot of live events with various companies. We've done very large for like Fortune 100 companies live events, and that's what we specialize in making successful. And I'm super proud of the fact that I mean, it's not an easy thing what we do,
Right.
but it's something that we're really, really good at. And so, we're not going to be suitable for your entire portfolio of sites, but for the one site that's your problem child, the two sites, the three
Yes.
sites,
Problem child. That's the
that's
that's the
there.
tagline I
Yeah,
love. Yeah.
we will help you with that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
If someone wants to learn a little more about Convesio and check out this integration, how can they?
Sure. Yeah. You can go to convesio.com, convesio.com, and you can chat with us. And a lot of times I'm on chat. You can email me at tom@convesio.com. Yeah. And we'd be happy to have a conversation with you.
Okay.
And,
And
we'll
I also
get a,
want to point. I also want to point out that on the last week of this month, the last week of April, we have our web agency summit coming for the fourth round, powered by the magical formula of Convesio for the fourth year in a row. If you want to experience how seamless high scale websites can feel like, that is a really beautiful place to see it in action. Where we had last year, what, like 2,500 requests in an hour, or million,
no, million.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 million requests in an hour, hitting that WordPress website, and still no one even it didn't even bother it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
so that's the kind of stuff, and we make it looks easy to people using it, but Vito, we worked for a couple months prior to that, tuning everything and load
yes.
testing things and using New Relic to analyze things and having your team optimize stuff. I mean, so it's definitely one of these things where there's a lot of work that goes into pulling these events off and making sure they're going to be successful.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, all right. I want to thank your team that has worked with my team.
Yes.
I want to thank my team that has put this cool integration together for us. We're like the faces, but we're no longer as much in the trenches as we used to be, right, Tom?
I mean, I didn't really have anything to do with this, to be honest with you. I mean, my team worked with your team, and it was like poof, the content, the
Just happens.
marketing people, the engineering teams. I mean, they just all kind of worked together. So I think we were like really bystanders at best.
Yeah, if we got the message, go do a live broadcast.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's done. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Well, good to see you, Tom. Thanks
Likewise.
everyone for joining and watching the replay as well. Go check out Convesio and the Atarim integration right inside the panel. It's available for all the users for all of the different accounts. And I'll see you on the next round.
All righty.